God fucking damn it.
Grow up.
All right,
Get educated.
I'm gonna start now. I think that's enough free fucking conversation, whatever this is.
See, we don't know.
No,
if
the
he's
whole
telling the truth or
podcast should
not.
just be like this.
I don't.
It's weaponized autism.
I don't know like where the conversation ends. At this point. Like, it just kind of keeps going and evolving on its own, and this is what Tripod is. It's always a mess like this.
Good.
All right.
Clean it up.
It shows
Clean it
that it's
up.
a natural,
Yeah.
free-flowing process and not
It
forced.
creates value.
It creates value.
we are
Authenticity.
humans and not robots. Mark Zuckerberg.
Man's really dropped Mark Zuckerberg like that was going to make everything better. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tripod. I am your host, Adrian, and this is the crew that we have tonight for the last month of 2020. Let's go down the list on Discord and have everybody introduce themselves.
You already know who it is. Silento. Silent. No, I'm kidding. That was
Shut
fucking
up.
lame.
Shut up.
My name's Josh. I attend these things sometimes.
This is your second one, isn't it?
My second one in a row.
Speaking.
I've done a couple. I've done a couple more speaking jobs.
The flex.
Okay.
No, that's me. I'm Flex.
Ooh, good segue.
Hi, I'm Wallace. I am happy to be back here. What up? I don't have anything else to say.
I'm Shogun. I shoot the things and sound vaguely intelligent.
He wears a tiara.
Let's be honest. Nobody on this podcast can sound intelligent. That's just
I can when I want to. I just don't want to.
Well, I mean, I can try.
I'm gonna call your bluff, Josh.
call a bluff. All right, well, let's start off with our first section today. Talk about things that are going on in Tripoles. What is it called?
Everyone has
Paint
a
a picture?
jank ass computer.
Paint a picture. Initiative Overcome came out, as you probably know from the last podcast. If you
You
don't
just
know,
call it the old title.
yes. What is it? Canvas?
Sheesh.
That's what it's called. Canvas. Yeah, Canvas.
Weren't you like part of the brainchild to come
Nope.
up with this?
No, I wasn't actually. I just support it. I am the supporting cast.
He's just happy to be there.
I'm just happy to be there. Hey, listen. Hey, the newest Canvas compilation came out. It's called Overcome. It's up on Spotify, Apple, and Bandcamp, and a few other places. Go check it out. It's cool. And we gave out prizes to the people who won, and that's cool.
Listen to our shit. We made it ourselves.
Yeah. Furthermore, Tripalooza's coming up. Tripalooza is going to be the first weekend of January, which is like January 6th, I believe. That's going to be the Sunday. I'm going to do a 12-hour stream. I'm going to stream... What's up?
Your dates are all the way off. The first weekend is literally the 2nd and the 3rd.
Okay.
The 6th is a Wednesday, fam.
Non-withstanding... Oh, the 9th, right?
The 9th would be a Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, I think... No... Okay, so then it's...
Did I just mess up your whole plan?
Yeah, you just messed up everything. It's fine. No, it's because I'm trading shifts around right now, and I just don't know what days I'm working and what days I'm not working. Okay, so January 10th will be the day for Tripalooza. I'm going to do a 12-hour stream starting sometime in the afternoon, and then we will end it sometime mid-morning so that our European friends can jump in if they wish to jump in. For a limited amount of time, of course. We're gonna play some games. I'll play, I don't know, we'll probably play some Fall Guys, some Among Us, some Jackbox, and then Wallace and I were gonna play some Monster Camp, I think, at some point in time.
I wanted to do Monster Camp with you and also bring Grace along for that. She said she'd be down, so you'll have... I don't know if she'll play, but at the very least, she'll do some voice acting.
Okay.
So we will have extra people for that. And hopefully we can get more people that would be okay with voice acting.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do
If
all
if not, then well, you and me and Grace can just do all the voices since that's usually what we do, anyways.
that. Yeah.
You actually voice act for that?
I mean,
we
voice
do.
act is in we just scream in not our normal voice and laugh.
That's y'all get real into this shit. The fuck?
It's
good
a
game.
lot of fun,
It's-
dude.
it's
Voice
very
acting
fun.
is voice acting is really
Voicing
fun. I
acting.
wish I could do it more, honestly. Shut up. Come over there and beat your ass. Swear to God. Meet me at Lost Lands.
Yep. Meet me at fucking Thunderdome. Anyways, yeah, so that's going on. That will be happening January 10th, starting sometime in the afternoon, probably around 5 or 6 o'clock. Be there or be square. We're also going to be giving away some stuff, you know, a couple games, some of the shirts from both the Overcome compilation as well as some of the Tripulse Hydration stuff. And speaking of Tripulse Hydration, hey, guess what? On January 1st, Break Chains will be launching the website once again, and we're going to have the shirts in stock sometime around the second week of January. And then we will be sending all orders out that we got in between those times. And then, so we're going to take orders, pre-orders, kind of stock orders, whatever, during January. The reason that we're going to do these in drops during a month is because it's just cheaper to do all that at the same-ish time rather than spread it out over time. It just becomes more expensive and it causes a loss for profits and charity donations. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be posting a link. It's real simple, breakchains.net. We will be selling t-shirts with the Tripulse Hydration design on them, as well as some stickers and I don't have the picture, but we're gonna be doing water bottles as well. And it's still the design's still a work in progress. I'm not sure that I'm gonna go with this, but I'm gonna drop it in text or voice for people here to look at it. No, it is aluminum. And it's a 14-ounce bottle. It's not like, you know, a larger one. It's kind of a smaller bottle, but it'll be fairly inexpensive, not like super cheap, but it'll be affordable. Hydration delivery service number 1. That's what HDS1 stands for. I think that's it for what's going on in Tripulse, unless anybody else has anything to add to that. Music stuff you can save for the music section. I think that'll probably fit better.
Bitches and hoes. Bitches with titties, hundreds and fitties.
I am still here.
Chicken wing, macaroni, and bologna. Oh, yes. Hey, by the
Are
way.
you guys all collectively like high?
No.
Not
Sure about
really.
On live,
It's called emergent comedy. Thank you.
Hey.
Shut up.
us here at Tripulse don't condone drugs. Don't do drug. Anyways.
What about
back
we
to my
condone a
Dr.
little
Pepsi.
drugs?
No.
Just a little bit?
No.
Damn.
Hey, also, just want to mention, Friday nights, not currently because we're taking a little bit of a break, but Friday nights are D&D nights. We play some Dungeons & Dragons with Sam, our local dungeon master, and we are working on getting ourselves out of the tutorial phase of this campaign, which means that we're going to be doing it in podcast format fairly soon. Fun. Even on days that we don't actually have a campaign, Fridays are still D&D nights. I'll be hanging out in chat for people to come in and talk and, you know, maybe build characters, talk about teamwork inside of the campaign and general world building stuff. Not revealing too much about the local campaign, but, you know, just kind of helping people along their way to figure out what they like. Oh yeah, also you can, you know, run your own session if you like. Just ask Cell ahead of time and then we'll figure it out from there. I'm currently being fed this information on a drip, so excuse the pauses. Okay, I think that's it. Alright, let's move on to music. and let's talk about some things that we've been listening to lately. Anybody want to go first?
I guess I can speak up. I don't mind. I have been listening. Oh, wait, do you want to, like, specifically for the month of November or just, like, in general?
Okay, so here's how this works. Normally, we have the podcast at the very beginning of a month, which means that the stuff that you've been listening to is usually from the prior month. However, this time around, because we're running so far behind and late this year, basically anything from early November up until last week is fair game.
Okay. I've kind of been given a lot of different songs, or been finding a lot of different songs. Specifically one that came up, which was released back in, I can't remember, earlier this year, was Monsters by who the
Scary
artist's
Monsters
name?
Night Sprites?
No.
Or Skrillex?
Monsters by All Time Low and Black Bear. That's kind of been like the big one. I also have been like just finding various like songs from like, you know, artists that may have been released a while ago, but I'm hearing them for like the first time. Like Soda World by Chime, Subterranean by Cultivate, which actually I'm pretty sure came out in November because that's on the that's on Subsidia's Dusk album.
Yep.
And then what else? What else have I been listening to? Down With Your Love by Riot has been another one. And I think that's like about as far as it goes for November specifically. I've been listening to like just a lot of dubstep because of course I've been finding or like listening to a lot more of Must Die stuff because I'm a really huge Must Die fan. So I've been listening to Nerve Damage and Bliss 2K a lot again, as well as I Don't Want to Live VIP and Ultra Beam, which are songs that I hadn't heard before. So and then just like various things. Oh, also Sullivan King's song Dark Love has been
This is
fucking
metal song, right?
It's metal, but it has a really fucking hard dubstep drop.
Oh.
And it got put in in one of Spotify's playlists for rock, which is really interesting. But it's really good. It's really, really good.
Sick. All right.
So
I've been listening to Nushi lately. NUU $SI. They had a release on the Halcyon record label, and this is really the first release on that label that I've kind of really liked. I'm not big on the future rhythm genre. I don't really like it that much, but I mean, this EP, this Fairy Tale EP, I've enjoyed it a lot. It feels a lot more natural, I guess, than some of the other songs on that label. I don't know how to explain that anymore. Some other things that happened. There were some compilations that came out recently. There was Subsidia's Night Volume 2 that came out. There was the Afterlife Volume 1 compilation on Disciple that came out, which is basically all melodic kind of dubstep artists or songs. And then there was also the This Is Cyberpunk compilation that came out on Night Mode, and those are all pretty cool. They're all pretty vibey songs and don't match what Cyberpunk's score is at all, but that's fine. And that's really about all I've been listening to lately. I haven't really listened to anything like unique recently, and it's kind of weird. I've just been going back and listening to older stuff throughout the year, trying to round out my favorites. Anybody else got anything they've been listening to lately?
Honestly, like I haven't been listening to anything too much lately. I've just started trying to update my music library a bit, but I guess two things that are like standout things I could talk about is one. This one's quite recent, about 10 days ago. Ram Records put out the Revolutions LP, which is essentially just a remix album of various tracks from Ram Trilogy. And for those that may not know, Ram Trilogy was a trio consisting of Shimon, Andy C, and Ant Miles. They were like all doing things as Ram Trilogy like around the late 90s, early 2000s. And so it's just a bunch of like modern day remixes of those classic tracks, which I think's quite cool. And then I guess the second thing is the debut of Cyclops Recordings, aka Subtronics' new imprint. They put out, I guess it's would it be like 3 compilations like in one, or would it just be like one really big compilation album? Either way, they put out a bunch of music. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it. You should listen to it if that sounds like something I'll be up your alley.
It's pretty good dubstep. What I will say is that I did not like the whole pre-announcement hype that they did for that label.
Oh, the fucking emails that they sent out?
Yeah.
I thought it was a funny gimmick, but it wasn't really like, I don't know.
Like when it first started happening, I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. I wonder what this is." And then when it just turned out to be a record label announcement, it was just kind of disappointing. So,
did you watch like any of the like the track list teasers for it?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, some of them, like I'm not one who's like prone to like epilepsy or whatever, but man, some of them flashing lights were a bit strong.
I didn't like the announcement video either, because it felt like every other word there was some kind of like audio effect or glitch.
There's some kind of modulation to it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I get it. You don't have to you could just do the announcement. But to each their own. I mean, it worked out.
Yeah.
What about you, Shogun? You been listening to anything lately?
A lot of the songs I've been listening to recently have all released in 2018, so I feel like it's not applicable.
Today's just the month of going back to the classics, I guess.
It kind of is.
This is my like listening pattern, or like I guess overall pattern, where I'm like 2 years late to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like last year I had a lot of songs that were from like 2016 and 2017.
Yeah.
And then now it's advanced a year.
That's
so
fine.
that's my listening. There's only like one song that came out in the last month that I have liked, and that's "Scared" by Stonebank.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's a pretty good song. Yeah,
that's about it. Yeah, it's all right.
Well, you can tell us all about this year's music in 2022, Shogun.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting.
Tune back in December 2022 for Shogun's return to talk about 2020.
Yeah, my selections.
It's a 2020 recap, bro. Let's go.
Okay. Cool. Did everybody get a chance to listen to Tola's album today?
Yes.
Sort of.
I know I dropped this on you guys
I like
kind of last minute, so
I like skimmed through it a good bit. It's an album.
That's really how you're going to be today, huh?
Here's the thing, right? From my general perception of it, it just seems to be like a mostly instrumental metal album that takes influences from other things. And so I don't really know how I could be like able to talk about anything useful with it, because that's just so out of my knowledge, like field of knowledge. Does that make sense? Just because metal is not really a world I know all that much about. So it's an album.
Yeah, I mean, like I enjoyed it. It's definitely not super different from anything Tola's made recently, but it is.
It's not. It's just more honed in on the metal side as opposed to like
yeah, exactly. Like,
being a metal EDM hybrid.
It feels more like a performance than just something that you whip up in your software. And I think it's really cool. I think a lot of the things that he did here were interesting. Like it kept me kind of listening throughout the whole thing instead of like getting halfway through it and being kind of bored with it. I feel like most of the songs, if not all of them, had a good enough flow and stay power for me to want to listen to them all the way through, which I feel like I'm having more and more trouble with lately with music in general. And I just appreciate when something can hold my attention. He does a lot of screaming guitar solos in this entire album, and I think it's really, really cool. I also think that that's a really draining thing for people to do, just to constantly be making new solos for their songs. But I mean, if you can do it, more power to you. So, anybody else have anything to add about the release of the month?
I think for me, I don't know, like it's kind of it's just kind of that signature like Wintola sound that I'm used to. Like Wintola is one of those artists that has always had his own like sound or own sort of like vibe that like it's not like any one particular sound in the song, but you hear a song and you're just like, yep, I know exactly who that is, sort of deal. And I think the nice thing about this album is it just kind of like shows that it's just kind of another showing of like, hey, I can like diversify like what I do and still like capture that same sort of energy that I always have. Like the thing that I think I respect about Wintola the most is just like his ability to, and like we were talking about this earlier, but like his ability to throw different things into the mix and like still like just have that, I don't know, very like specific Wintola vibe. I don't know. He's he's really creative with it. I don't know how to put that like in any better of a way other than that, but like it's just like, I don't know. It's like, yep, that's Wintola. Like that's kind of how I feel about it. It's like that feels like such a lame compliment, but it is a compliment nonetheless. Like there's an interesting mix of like metal influences with some softer like EDM sounds thrown in there, which you don't really hear in a lot of like other kind of music, like that's just something that he does and he pulls it off. And I really don't think there are very many artists that can do that kind of thing. I will say probably my favorite song on the whole album is Brotherhood, I believe. because I really enjoyed the hook for that one. But other than that, like it's just a solid album overall. I also like the song like Cats and Dogs just because of the little bit of dubstep that he did in there, the like kind of classic dubstep sound. Wontola's, I think, does bass music really well, and even though he's not really into making bass music that much anymore, when he does make it, it's interesting and it's heavy and it's nice. And I don't know, he's just a like good producer. I don't know how else to put it, man.
I like a lot of the stuff he puts out, and I kind of understand what you're going for. It's like it's really a unique kind of combination of things that we don't get from any of the more mainstream artists, which is kind of weird to say because dubstep's really not mainstream in general, but it definitely does hit like a specific scratch that you don't get from other people, and I think that's important to have as an artist, you know, to have that specific kind of feeling to your music that people kind of come back for over and over again. It's good for you.
He's one of those artists where like one thing that I notice about like specifically Tripulse artists in general, or maybe not like Tripulse, but like everybody here, right, is that a lot of us have kind of our own things that we do where it's like, oh yeah, that's absolutely their song, right? Because none of us produce in a way where like you can make it sound like any other person's song. I feel like it's just that underground. Every song that comes out of this community has that underground feeling, and I don't know exactly like how to describe it, but like when I listen to like a song by Josh, it's really easy for me to tell that it's a song by Josh, or like a song by Shogun, or you know, so on and so forth. And that's probably in part because I've known them for so long, and I've listened to their songs enough. Like more, I've listened to like these guys' songs more than I've listened to like, you know, some of my favorite artists, to where like I can hear their song and like hear the little things that they do, and it's like, yep, I know it's them. And I'm losing my train of thought. I don't remember fully where I was going with this point, but I'm sorry.
Sounds
but
like you're just basically trying to say that like
I appreciate
all of us have their own distinct, unique styles that you can easily pinpoint to. Mm-hmm. Like you can easily listen to a song and be like, oh, it's from X artist.
Yeah.
And I think you're saying that like Wontola's
it's like
falls into that category.
I can't. It's like if you were to just like ask me, right? If you were to play a song and ask me to tell you if it's by Subtronics or Calcium, I wouldn't know. Like I probably wouldn't be able to tell you, you know, the difference between, you know, one artist and the next, because a lot of them do like very similar things, right? But it's so varied in our community that like you can tell. Partially because of genres, but also partially because, you know, that's just how it goes. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing to me.
Okay, cool. Shogun, any thoughts on the same album?
I mean, Wallace has pretty much nailed it on the head. Like,
yeah, I do feel like
halfway to his point.
Yeah, gave a pretty good explanation.
It was made by Wontola. It sure is a Wontola track, which means it's good. It's his. It's good.
It's an album.
It's an album.
All right.
Like I've never. I don't know if you wanted me to continue with that.
Oh no, yeah, go for it. Yeah. Say what
It's
you
just a
wanna
little
say.
minor point, but it's like it's not the kind of thing that I'm usually like interested in. But every now and then I'll come around and I'll say that's a good track that's got like metal elements in it and like a majority of that through the songs. I would say I would go back to his album and say I'd pick out 1, 2, 3, however many tracks I like.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like my main thing to listen to. It's like a good side album.
It's something you throw in a playlist and shuffle.
Yeah, good appetizer.
I feel that.
Oh, you know what? I have a little bit more actually.
Oh my god,
to
you want
say.
to speak?
I'm
more?
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Christ.
sorry. I just remembered this. I'm
an
like
annoying-
I'm struggling. Please.
Motherfucker really is like,
Hold on.
hey,
I want there is something I can compare it to. Like something that I can compare it to.
Is this going to be a
Because-
good comparison?
I think so.
is it going to be a comparison to Sullivan King?
No. There is a band that also happens to be from Washington. But they made a song a long time ago. I'll put it in the Text for Voice channel. And it just kind of has that same. When I was listening to the album, I immediately thought of this song. And that's a like really. I don't know. I really like enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like
have
a lot of
nothing to add to that, but yeah, I feel that.
a lot of metal. I'm not like the biggest metal head at all. But I've been listening a little bit more to some stuff. Like I've been listening to like just over the course of the year. I've been listening to Spotify's Top of the Core playlist, and I've really liked I Prevail. There was a song by what are they called? I can't remember. But like just I've been listening to Bad Omens, a little bit of Bad Omens. I've just been listening to that genre a little bit more, and the vibe that like when Tola hits is a very like specific kind of metal that I just don't really listen to again because I am not really a metalhead. But it does remind me of Steelscape, and I love the ever living fuck out of Steelscape. So fucking, in my opinion, good album. Very good album.
Yep. I think we've all kind of said our piece about it. So yeah, cool. Also, Tola, congratulations on being included in the Instrumental Madness playlist. Cool feature. Anybody want to talk about any of the other notable releases that we had that I listed out this month? If you know anything about them.
Yes.
I forgot what they were, so let me refresh my memory.
I mean, it's Baby You Okay by San Holo,
Haven't heard of it.
Spectrum by Babs and Catterday, Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi, Your Fault by Excision and Slander.
Well,
I can talk about one of these, and Your Fault is good song.
I enjoyed it. I think I've enjoyed dubstep less and less this year. I don't know.
I really, really like Your Fault. I just love like I like mixing hard as fuck tear out dubstep with like make you cry type shit. And I just like that's when I hear that from Excision, like I really am glad that Excision has touched on those like notes with songs like Your Fault and Gold. And like other artists in general, like I know Illenium has done that with Gold. He did that with what's it called? I think it's called Weird Blood or Brothers or something like that. and then also his collab with Kill the Noise. I just love those type of songs. Like that's the kind of style of music that I wish I was good at making. And so like hearing Your Fault, I don't know, I like that. I wish there was more of that, and like to an extent there kind of is, but there's a lot of like just like club festival bangers that come out most of the time, and so it's just like being able to hear artists like go hard with bass, but also like add in an emotional factor, which I think has kind of slowly, like, not completely gone away, but like was slowly sort of like phased out as time went on. Like, because I feel like that was a lot more like prevalent in like 2013, 2014, 2015 type of dubstep. But to hear it still like come out by like artists like Excision is really, really, really cool. And I just want more heavy emotional shit in dubstep.
I feel like that's what this year's been a lot of, though. Too.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing with what you said about 2013, 2014, 2015. Those were the years when I like to say those are the years when everyone and their mom was trying to be fucking Seven Lions. And so it was just like 90,000 different people all trying to do that same Seven Lions kind of melodic dubstep sound. And I was like,
or the Mount Eden Sierra Leone vibe.
Yeah, I was over it. Like, I mean, is it bad? No. Is it my thing? Oh, so no.
I also think there's something to be said about people who recycle the same things. Like, you know, like going back to what Josh said, you know, about people trying to copy Seven Lions at the time. They just, you know, if you recycle the same sounds over and over again, like, yeah, it feeds that itch for that moment, but then it kind of just, you don't remember it later on, and that's kind of not what you want to do.
See, I almost feel like that perfectly ties into why I'm not entirely crazy about the whole Future Rhythm craze, is because I feel like everyone kind of has the same sort of
sound.
I'd say not necessarily the exact same sound. I feel like it's the same approach to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like artists like Subtronics, right? Like I like Subtronics, but I only really enjoy like a few specific songs because a lot of his songs sound very samey to me. Like I'm hyped about his label and stuff like that, but I don't really think I'm gonna listen to whatever he puts out that much because like it just doesn't really sound that unique anymore. Like it all sounds like the same metallic stuff, and I just don't really care about that right now.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me.
I don't have really all that much to add to that, so I think that's a fair place to leave music. I'm gonna point out real quick that I didn't really listen to most of the other honorable mentions because, like I said, I was late to this too. I know that Babs's release spectrum is pretty cool. It definitely hits a lot of very different things than what I'm used to hearing him make, and it kind of prevents me from making it too much of an opinion. But I think it's pretty good. I think it's something that you could, once again, throw into a playlist and shuffle and listen to every once in a while. And I think that's something that I'll probably be listening to, you know, going into the next year. And then finally,
it's so an album.
Finally, Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi. I'm not the biggest Kid Cudi fan, and that's okay. I've heard it's pretty good. Sam, you don't need to come in here and talk about it. We can talk about it a little bit more on the next podcast if you want to, because we'll be able to talk about more music, more widely varied music on that podcast. So I think with that, we can move on from music and talk about video games.
Oh boy.
Completed.
Oh boy.
Gaming.
Gaming. We're gonna talk about the one video game.
Actually,
Here we go.
Actually,
I'm ready.
Actually, I'm not
New
gonna.
gig.
I'm not gonna jump into the one that everybody's expecting me to jump into. And instead,
Gaming.
I want to
Gig
talk
failed.
about how the Game Awards are absolute ass.
I got some
watch that?
motherfucking thoughts on these. Oh, damn.
I didn't even watch the Game Awards, bro.
I didn't watch them either. I just looked them up after they're all announced, and I got some thoughts on these, man.
I tuned into the stream, saw some dude shoes, and said,
You saw some shoes?
Yeah, the fucking
Were they raggedy?
Were they
the
raggedy?
fucking- no, they're fresh as fuck actually, but that's kind of the problem. They take away.
They like
The
they
dude's up there in
commanded
a
all of
suit.
his form.
Yeah, dude's
Yeah.
up there in a suit, and he's got the fucking brightest fucking tennis shoes you could imagine. I don't even remember what his
those
fucking
shoes
name
can
is, but
talk.
he's like the guy who fucking owns
Jeff Keighley.
Jeff Keighley. Yeah, he's like the face of the fucking Game Awards, and he does that shit.
My man Jeff Keighley got the Razer Chroma RGB 11s.
Well,
And then when he's in that little cage here, and he's like, I guess I'm trapped. Anyway,
that was a weird. He didn't have to. He didn't have to say
you didn't
that.
have to do that.
Like, yeah, we get it. Cool. You went in and you did a holographic display or whatever the fuck this is.
I pay your graphic designers very well.
Yeah. I think part of it is like he didn't have an audience to get any kind of feedback from. So he was just kind of on a stage, like doing his best.
It's funny,
Can I-
right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Can I just ask why Microsoft Flight Simulator is a strategy game?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that some of the categories didn't make sense, like sim and strategy in the same category.
What's the fucking the strategy of using the game to fucking
Strategy of getting your fucking plane off the ground, because dude,
Can your brain maintain its mental state 15,000 feet
can your-
above the earth?
Can you figure out where you want to crash your plane?
yeah,
you
like,
survive a night
Who are you going to
flight?
target this time? Oh my god.
yeah, like, see, that's the thing, is that sim and strategy being both in the same category kind of makes no sense, because then it leads to something like that. Another one I had a really big issue with was having racing and sports games be in the same category. I'm sorry, but there's no way you can put fucking Dirt 5, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and fucking FIFA 2021 in the same category.
The fact that FIFA is up for a Game Awards makes me upset.
Name other sports games. Name other sports games real fast.
Yeah, that's my counter argument. Is like, what other sports games are there? Like fucking
Yeah.
Pro Evolution Soccer. Who the fuck plays PES nowadays?
Well, no. What I'm saying is
I
like,
know,
it's all
but-
the same sports games every fucking year. It's Madden, NHL, NBA 2K, and fucking FIFA. It's
And
there's
like
no-
maybe
You'll hit
PGA,
EA.
maybe
I-
PGA,
I-
and
yeah, but
WWE.
Yeah, and
I
WWE.
hate it. I hate it. I hate that games like that are able to. I just hate those games. I'm sorry. I don't like EA. I hate it.
least-
I hate sports games.
At least we
Oh,
got
man,
Tony Hawk
unpopular
this year.
opinion here.
At least we got Tony Hawk this year because, good God,
Yes.
our fucking sports games just kind of terrible.
And you know
lately.
what?
Every
And
once in
you
a
know
while
what?
every
Tony
once in a while
Hawk's-
we'll get an SSX, and those are fun. But otherwise, I don't give a fuck about
Here's-
sports
I
games.
can
Here's
talk
my
about
thing.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. It's a good game. I haven't finished it, but it's a genuinely like good like remake, remaster, whatever.
Ridge Racer. Does anybody
I don't
remember that
think-
fucking?
I don't think I could. I don't think I can play a Tony Hawk game for two reasons. One, Tony Hawk is like the Eminem of skateboarding video games, where for the most part they've been trash for the better part of a fucking decade. I've heard this new one is good, but like the fact that just the past ones have been just such shit, combined with the fact that I've played the shit out of EA Skate for the past fucking 10 to 11 years, I don't think I could ever go back to Tony Hawk.
Are you gonna get Skate 4 when it comes out?
Absolutely.
All right.
Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? What kind of questions?
I don't like EA, but when Skate 4 comes out, I will take a look at the reviews, and if I like what I see and the reviews are good, I'll get Skate 4.
Dude, if Skate is a fucking console exclusive, I will literally buy a fucking Series X.
If Skate's a
Skate.
console exclusive, I will not play the game.
Fuck it, Series X is going to be the fucking skate machine, boy.
Skate machine.
Skate machine. I think Microsoft has made it pretty clear that everything that comes out on Xbox will come to Game Pass and PC. There might be some time exclusive stuff every once in a while, but for the most part, they want to push like simultaneous releases for both Xbox and PC.
I mean, if Skate comes to PC, I imagine they'd probably do like what Skater XL and Session did and just have it be required that you use a controller. Because I think for a game like Skate, there's absolutely no way on earth you're going to make a game like that translate to keyboard and mouse. You just can't.
Yeah, that's a fairly good point. I mean, like, it's the same thing as me playing fucking Cyberpunk right now. Like, there are parts of that game that work so much better on a controller, and then there are parts that don't. So it's.
I guess we're getting into it now, right?
No,
I still got shit to talk about the Game Awards.
Yeah, I would say I still have shit to talk about the Game Awards, but we're getting there. I promise.
Yeah.
All right.
I got some stuff.
I feel like before we get to like the obvious of the obvious with fucking the Game Awards,
hold on,
gotta say
before we go into that, everybody take a guess. What is the obvious of the obvious?
The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
That'd be my answer, yeah, because it's all I heard about.
But before we get to the inevitable, I just gotta say, Content Creator of the Year, it should have been Tim. I'm sorry, it should have been Tim.
I like Ray. I like Valkyrie. I'm sorry.
I also like Ray, I'm gonna be honest.
Bro, after that fucking Fall Guys moment, it should have been Tim.
The Fall Guys win for Tim is one of the biggest moments of this year, like on
like
Twitch.
it should have been him.
But
Tim the Tap Man.
I don't like Ray as much as I like Toast, but I also think Ray is a decent like streamer, and I like her as a personality. I don't know.
Possibly a very unpopular opinion coming up. I don't really honestly like Toast. I think Toast is kind of a dick.
I mean, he's a smartass. Like, that's his thing.
I don't know really. Like, I've heard the name, haven't really watched anything from him. I will say this, though. This might be an unpopular opinion. I feel like from what I've seen of Valkyrie?
Ray, just
Valkyrie?
Say Ray. Yeah.
Ray?
Yeah.
What I've seen from Ray, I feel like she's just a Pokemon light.
I can kind of feel that. They're all kind of like that same offline TV and friends kind of group.
They are, but I don't know. I think Ray is fine. Like I think her content is good. I think her personality is fine. I don't really have anything like super negative to say because it's two tastes, and I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and say that their content is like the best content on earth, but I wouldn't also say that it's like objectively bad, you know? I think that it's interesting. Well, I don't know. I think your opinion on Toast is kind of interesting, but also, like, I guess I can kind of see it. But at the same time, like, that's just his thing. Like, he's a smart ass, and
like he makes me laugh sometimes. But like he could be a real dick. Like he can be a real dick sometimes, and it's kind of off-putting. Like okay, fine. You can joke around with your friends and be that way a little bit, but don't like make their life miserable.
Now, one more thing about Content Creator of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that unless he like won on a different year, I'm just surprised fucking Dr. Disrespect wasn't even nominated.
He won last year, I think.
Did he win last year?
Well, no, maybe.
No, that was
People
Shroud.
like-
That was Shroud.
Shroud that won.
People like Doc. I don't understand why people like Dr. Disrespect. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Because you're soft. 85-year-old man.
Listen,
I think
like,
it's because I think it's because of the whole thing about his wife that he hasn't been
well,
nominated.
I mean, I don't think the baby rage like personality is that entertaining. I just don't think being
used to-
toxic all the time is
I used to
entertaining.
think that he wasn't like that. I used to think that he was like a chill streamer and like just a good like Call of Duty player. I didn't realize until I started watching his streams that he's just such a fucking baby about everything.
Like it's
That's fair. Like
it's funny sometimes, but like when your whole thing is you've got a massive ego and like if you lose, then you have to like just be a fucking toxic dick about it. Like it's funny for a few gags and then it gets old like really really quick.
Let me let you in on something real fast. It's not a gag. He believes this shit in real life. He believes that he is the number one in everything that he does.
Well, that just makes it even more sad.
Like his
the fact
his
the fact that he's
persona
like this
is not a persona. That's just him.
well,
I-
also, like
Okay.
a thing to remember with at least Doc with Call of Duty. He used to literally work for Sledgehammer Games. He did a shit ton of the map design for Advanced
Yeah.
Warfare. So like he knows Call of Duty.
In a few years, people are gonna be like, "Okay, we get it. He designed fucking maps on a game that nobody plays anymore." Like,
I don't know. I don't care for it, and I don't understand why people enjoy it so much. I don't understand how he's relevant, and you know what? Good for him. That's all I can say is, you know what? He's making money off of it, and that's great.
Well, I also like
But
yeah,
it's-
like
it's
the
not for me.
content. Yeah, the content's definitely not for everyone. I understand that, but the reason why I was going to say I was surprised he wasn't nominated, even, is just because the like crazy fucking year he had.
I think that's part of the
Yeah,
issue.
like when
is that,
yeah, like
when
oh,
the
just
shit
like
about-
because he was a controversial figure. Or?
Yeah, like just because the whole thing about him cheating on his wife came out. I think people were like, "Yeah, we."
No, that was like years ago. I was thinking more because like when he got banned off of Twitch for like a reason that a lot of
Nobody
people
knows.
to this day do not know. Like, and Twitch is like very hush hush about it, so people are like going crazy with like the conspiracy theories. But yeah, him getting like permanently banned off of Twitch, and then like the numbers he's doing when he came to YouTube, I thought like that would be like
I think a lot of
worthy criteria for at least a nomination.
I think a lot of them are bots. To be completely honest with you, I think
You know what?
I think those numbers. are
that
inflated,
wouldn't
yeah.
surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me.
You think so?
I think those
I
numbers
just-
are inflated because I don't know that many people that use the YouTube gaming thing. I don't know. I mean, like when Ninja moved over there, like, and he couldn't pull those kind of numbers. It felt like there just wasn't.
Is that where
People-
Ninja is now? He's
No,
on-
Ninja's back on Twitch.
Yeah, he moved back.
Oh,
to
he's back
Twitch.
on Twitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was part of the whole mix.
I think same with Shroud. I think Shroud also moved back to Twitch as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're fucking the platform that they got paid to move to just is no longer there. So
That's what I'm saying. Is like, when those guys moved over there and they couldn't pull those kinds of numbers, it was really weird to me that Doc could pull those numbers. And if they're all real people, awesome, cool. But I do think they're inflated a little bit. And that's also, I mean, that goes for anybody on Twitch too. Like, a lot of the bigger streamers, their numbers are inflated too because people have bots running in those chat rooms all the time. And they may not be because the streamer got the bots. It may be because like fans or whoever made them and like want them to sit in and whatever. on stuff. So like, it's not always the content creator's fault. But yeah.
Still think
Okay.
it should have been Tim.
I want to talk about. I guess we can talk about The Last of Us now, and all the awards it won, and how I feel
man.
that it deserved a few of them. Not all of them, but it deserved a few of them. I feel.
I don't think it deserved a goddamn thing.
I don't understand anything about The Last of Us, so I kind of am sort of opinionless here. I'm just gonna let you guys fill me in, I guess.
Well, okay.
So-
I mean, first of all, it won Game of the Year, which is already kind of like this big controversial category that nobody's ever happy with. But then it also won things like action and adventure game. One of its people won performance. They won the audio design thing. They won the narrative award. They won the game direction award, and they won the anticipated game award back in 2017.
All right, let me talk to you about why the fucking performance award is complete and utter bullshit. Last of Us 2 got 2 different roles nominated for the same award. That should not be allowed. It should be 1 per game. How are you gonna fucking nominate 2 people for this from the same game for an award? Nah. That's bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit.
I think that I understand what you're saying. I do believe that Laura really knocked that performance out of the park, and she did a good job as Abby in the game. But I can understand people's frustration with the game.
I will say that from what I remembered watching, I guess like the what was it? I think it was the accessibility award. That one made sense because from what I heard, that game had like 90,000 different accessibility settings.
After I ended up looking it up, I realized that they probably did deserve that because it looked like they did a lot of work to make sure that people could play the game.
Yeah, like that one, I'll give it to them. Anything else? Ew. Ew.
So I can't speak to audio design because I didn't play the game personally.
Actually, I can't really speak to audio design either. But I
just
feel
seen
like
people play it, and audio design is not the same thing as score either. So like
that's like that. They like the sound effects and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, like
Like,
that's
I don't know.
basically
I feel like-
the immersion in the ambience.
I feel like with something like that, like I feel like games nowadays, like they've reached a point where they all sound good. I can't think of a game that I can inherently think off the top of my head that like sounds bad.
I mean, Among Us.
I don't think Among Us sounds bad
I hate the.
Well,
way
also
Among Us
you-
sounds.
I
personally. but-
think it for what it like for like the things that they convey, it's fine. You might think the sounds are fucking annoying, but I think like for the purpose that they serve, it's fine.
Are we not going with the low-hanging fruit of Fortnite?
Yeah, I guess Fortnite is pretty terrible about that. Oh, fucking Fortnite! Goddamn announcements at the Game Awards. Oh boy, were those?
Yeah.
Those were things that they did.
What
They're in
the
there.
fuck? What the fuck did they announce?
Walking Dead characters will be joining the game.
Oh,
Ninja is in the game.
I thought
Ninja's been
Ninja was like in the game for a while.
But they added in Master Chief. But not only did they add in Master Chief, they also added in like the Red versus Blue people, and then they had this really bad trailer that I did not like one bit, where the people from Red versus Blue like met Ninja and they all talked about Fortnite, and it was just very.
that
I
that
did
sounds
not
rough.
like
that
it.
sounds real rough.
Fortnite is
did
becoming
not like
the
it.
Fortnite is becoming the Smash Brothers of everything that is not Nintendo.
Like I knew they added Kratos to the game. I didn't realize they added all of that other stuff.
Like every other character that you would think there's no way they can get into Smash, they're in Fortnite.
Yo, let me find out
waiting.
that they add motherfucking CJ to fucking Fortnite, and I will
Dude,
no hesitation pick up.
I'm gonna watch
past
Fortnite find a way to add Waluigi to the game, and
God.
people go wah. Honestly,
At this point, I would not be surprised if Nintendo was like the last like set of people to hold out on Fortnite, and even then, I don't know. Okay.
CJ and Fortnite, bro.
So I'm gonna list off the things that I thought that Last of Us deserved, and that was narrative, performance, and what was the other one? Oh, the accessibility, which is not listed at the list that I'm looking at now that I think about it.
I think it's like way down the list. I just went to like the official Game Awards website.
Yeah, we usually go for about an hour and a half. So, okay, I'm done talking about the Game Awards. If anybody else wants to say anything before we, oh, you know what? No, I'm not. I also want to throw this out there. Doom had no business being nominated for anything audio related this year. After that big old controversy that happens in the first half of this year, they had no fucking business being there.
Me in, I don't recall this controversy at all.
So basically, the game was announced, and like we were promised to get the soundtrack to Eternal around the same time the game launched. It didn't happen right away. But there was just this big like apparent breakdown of communication and work between Mick Gordon and what is it? id Software makes Doom, and basically they couldn't come to like a solid deadline, and so they had to turn around and get their local in-house guy to kind of do the mastering and work on the music so that it could be released. And then people just drug these guys like through the mud for these decisions and like called out Bethesda for being real shitty. But as it turned out, Mick Gordon was really also a person at fault because he didn't finish on time like he had agreed to, and basically they fucked everything up about producing the music and the audio for the game in a timely manner, and it was more of a issue from all sides rather than one side or the other side. So that's the last thing I'll say about the Game Awards. Anybody else got anything to say?
Before we move on to anything else, I want to hear the sound of me launching a straw paper across the room. Will this even pick up on my mic? I don't know.
Sure.
Probably will pick up an Audacity.
It might have. I don't know.
I didn't hear shit.
Wow, so loud, dude.
God,
my ears.
like a goddamn gunshot.
I mean, that straw paper definitely flew across my room.
God,
Silencer
you know
on
what
that
you should have done is put a notice before you had done that, saying that, hey, there's
Audio
going
warning.
to be big audios happening.
Hey, jump scare.
I gave you ample warning. I literally asked, hey, do you guys want me to do this?
Bad ears.
All right.
Anyway,
Speaking of,
before you guys go into the other inevitable topic when it comes to games, I want to give a little update to something I talked about in the last podcast. Because I think that was like a few days before Black Ops Cold War came out. Black Ops Cold War has since come out, and it's been an interesting process.
It's a game.
I personally enjoy it. A lot of my friends fucking hate it.
I feel like it's a Call of Duty game that has been released, and that's really as much as you can take away from it, because it's not really incredibly different, but it is kind of like a natural progression to what they've been doing for the last couple of years.
It is a Call of Duty game that has been released, and next year there will be another Call of Duty game that will be released.
Maybe it's just because I'm a little bit more into the Call of Duty than like you guys might be.
Like, I'm gonna
That's
be
also
honest,
fair.
bro. Like, I'm over Call of Duty. I've been over it since Modern Warfare. Well, I mean, I played Black Ops 4. I played Modern Warfare, and I have no intention of playing another Call of Duty probably for the rest of my life, unless, you know, I just happen to see one that I really like. Because it's boring, it's old, and the file sizes are super fucking massive, and the old games are really fucking expensive, which I don't understand. So
It's because people still play them. They're still demand.
I don't know, man. I'm not into it.
All right.
All right.
Let's
Well-
move on.
That's fine.
Wait.
Oh my god, you have more to say?
I barely even touched. Like I was just going to touch on some aspects of the game. The zombies, really good. I enjoy the zombies a lot, and I think the general consensus is that the new zombies is also really good.
It looked pretty
The
fun.
multiplayer is multiplayer, but oh my god, I don't know what they did with their fucking matchmaking algorithm or like the way that they handle skill-based matchmaking, but oh my god, this is by far the worst Call of Duty I've played in terms of the way people play the game.
Do you get matched with just shitty people, or do you?
No, I get matched with like. Okay, so here's the thing. I play hardcore free for all a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That game is just everyone corner camping all day, every day,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
and
Game
and then
Wars, different strategies.
yeah, and then when I've played like team deathmatch and stuff like that with my friends, it's just the like you'll do decent for like a match, and then you will just get your shit kicked in for 5 matches in a row. And I think it's the way that the game handles like skill-based matchmaking and stuff like that. It's a bit excessive. But in terms of like the fundamentals, it's a Call of Duty game, so it'll play like most other Call of Duty games. I don't think they do anything too revolutionary, but at the same time, I don't think they need to do anything too revolutionary.
Yeah, I feel that. I like the health bars. Health bars are nice.
Yeah, a lot of my friends aren't a big fan of that feature, but I personally, I don't mind it. It's cool.
The
I think it
visual
makes-
design is okay.
It makes me feel better about, you know, how much damage I do or could do. Okay, is that all you have to say about Call of Duty?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I have nothing to add to that. I haven't really played Cold War yet. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about stupid, sexy Cyberpunk.
Oh no, it's glitching out.
Of course it is.
I'll make my thoughts
Sexy, glitchy
on
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk very short. I have not played it.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll
That's
be the
exactly what I
hero
expected.
of this segment.
I don't think I'll play it.
I also want to go on.
At least not
record.
right away. Potentially, I won't. I just won't buy it. And I think, frankly, I'm a little bit over. Like, I get it. It's the big hyped up game everyone is talking about, but I think I'm kind of just over just seeing nothing but Cyberpunk on my feeds every single day. I'm like, cool. You want to talk about something else, though?
I want to throw out here real quick in case anybody's listening. There'll probably be spoilers. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll be sometime in January, so you may not need to worry too much about it. But just, you know, for your own sake, there's probably gonna be a few spoilers.
Try not to go too ham on the spoilers because I still am not that far in the
Hey,
game.
let me tell you guys something.
I'm not gonna
spoil very much of the game because I'm only just now started working with Takamura. So
This is why I've said I will be the hero of this segment, because I am very, very far into the game. I'm also very confident that what I'm going to talk about is not going to be spoilers at all.
I'm not gonna get too like upset at spoilers because I don't care that much. I just really would like to be able to experience it for myself.
You're good, yeah.
But that's just me.
No, what I'm going to talk about is like my collected opinions and analysis of the game as I've been playing it, both from a standpoint of somebody who likes to enjoy games like this, but also somebody who has a very intricate mind for game design and development and how things are arranged in the game, and how engaged it gets me. So let me just start off real quick by actually pointing out that there is a hotfix that was released today.
Not even today. It was like midnight or like 11 o'clock last night. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it's showing up as today.
Mine downloaded sometime last night. I don't know when, but yeah.
So the thing with that hotfix, and this is a good measure of how the game is doing for anyone who is somehow not aware. It's a big list of hotfixes for quests, visual things, UI, like V's mouth staying open on a quest and like some other character disappearing during a quest. All of these fixes I have not seen once. Not a single one of them. But I do know of people who have seen these bugs. And this is ultimately where a lot of the division on this game is coming from. Everyone is experiencing a different Cyberpunk. Yep. But the common denominator is that it is broken in some way. I've seen the T-poses. I've seen the cars bursting out of the floor and colliding with people. I've seen the police
the
spawn.
And the physics are not too great.
Kit posted a video on Twitter yesterday that I was laughing really hard at, of him just driving along and he just gets shot up into the air.
The road just suplexes him.
He just goes flying.
What happens? What happens there is that there's a car spawning right at that spot, and the game treats it like it's there, and you hit it at whatever speed you're going. And because of the way that the cars spawn in, they like expand into existence instead of just like blinking into existence. So it treats this as this like big ass collision, and it fucks the physics all the way up.
It's just really funny because like driving is bad in a game when even Kit looks like he's a bad driver, and I'm astonished.
I'm gonna throw this out here. I enjoy the driving in Cyberpunk. I don't think
it's okay. It's okay. I guess my issue with it is that just like in the rest of the game, the controls feel clunky, and I also just do not get good frames. Well, I don't get good frames. I don't get above 60 like across the board, except for when I go into the menu, which sucks.
I get a solid 144 when I'm in the menu.
I have a 240 hertz monitor, so I get over 200 when I'm in the menu.
Okay,
but like when I'm actually playing the game, I hover around 40, just kind of walking around, and then when the action starts, it goes to like 30, and then when I'm driving, I'm lucky to have 30 frames per second.
I'm surprised that your performance isn't that good. You have a 1070 or a 1080?
I have a 1080. I'm confused on medium. Okay, no, I have custom settings because Sam posted a settings guide.
Well, here's the thing: what is your monitor's resolution?
240.
240.
So
no, that's your resolution. Like, is it a 4K monitor?
It's a 1080.
Goddamn iPhone tablet.
No, it's a 10. No. It's a 1080. 1080.
Playing Cyberpunk on a fucking Texas Instruments TI-84.
It's 1920 by 1080 resolution. I don't remember how. I think it's like a 24-inch monitor.
24-inch. If you have a 27-inch, it'd be...
I don't remember exactly what monitor I have. I just remember that it's bigger than the old ones, and it's 200. It's 200. Yeah, it's a 10. It's like an Alienware, like either 24-inch or 27-inch, 1920 by 1080p, 240 hertz monitors, and I have two of them. And I am not getting good frames on a 1080.
So this is where I'll kind of combine your point with my opinion on the performance. It's actually okay-ish. Obviously, there are very dense areas of the city that are super, super taxing on my computer. I get regular 20s and 30s around like highly dense areas. What?
I'm just confused why y'all are getting such weird performance, because mine isn't nearly that bad.
It's a combination, in my opinion, it's a combination of the crowd density and various different graphic settings that enable or like tweak. It's kind of like half and half. The quality of like the environment and how it looks, like with shading and volumetric lighting and stuff and fog, and the quality of the people that are in that crowd. So those
I haven't
combined,
fucked with crowd density. I don't think. I don't know.
if you put it on honestly, if you put it on low, it becomes a lot more immersive.
LOD.
LOD.
Well, not LOD, but crowd density. I remember it being a specific setting.
Oh,
I'll check it out. I'll check it out next time I open the game. But
it helps. It doesn't squeeze frames out as much as I make it sound it does, but it helps.
So here's the thing. Maybe it's y'all's CPU then, because I mean my CPU is pretty beefy, but like
I have a Ryzen 5 1600, which isn't like an incredibly beefy CPU, but it's not a bad CPU by any stretch of the imagination.
I'll see. Mine's an Intel 8700K, so it's pretty good.
I don't get why y'all are having these performance issues. I'm getting a solid 60 on 1440p. Like,
maybe you're just special. Maybe the gods blessed you
with an AMD 5700 XT. And
I don't know whose dick you sucked to get that kind of performance, but just let me know, and I too will make the sacrifice. I'm just kidding.
No,
he was talking about how cautious he was going in.
I just want good frames, man. That's all I want.
I will say that my CPU is probably better than quite a few people who have CPUs who have custom built rigs, because mine's a 3900X, which is a 12-core processor.
Yeah, that would help.
Okay,
but
hang on, hold on.
AMD is not optimized. Like, they only recently optimized it for fucking 4-core and 6-core Ryzen processors. The 8-core, 12-core, and 16-core ones basically aren't like being fully utilized by the game.
Hold that thought for a second.
I don't like being called out. I don't like being called out.
Oh, Josh wants to call me out. I know what I said. I stand by what I said.
Wallace,
I stand by what I said. Fucking fight me.
You gotta be down bad if you're sucking dick for FPS, bro. You gotta
I
be
stand by what I said. I am not taking back what I said. All right.
Gotta be.
I will say it again. If I have to, I stand by what I said.
You gotta be hurting if you're resorting to that.
Listen. I will suck dick for good frames. All right,
Bruh.
Speaking about sucking dick, let's get into the rest of the game. And my thoughts on how everything is happening.
Let's talk about Adrian saying anybody else who has CPUs. All right, I think that's more important. I stand by what I said, but does Adrian stand by what he said? All right.
What I was trying to say was that
Adrian is famous for not being able to speak English.
Bought their own CPU for the computer, not people who own CPUs. I get that I messed up, okay, but let me just finish the thing about performance real quick. I'm very surprised that other people are having issues with this game when I'm not having issues, because from what I heard, people with AMD systems were having tons of issues, and like performance was all over the place with it. And I feel pretty good about what I've been getting. Now, FreeSync may also be playing a role in this too, because adaptive sync is kind of nice to have. But I'm pretty sure I've been hitting on average 60 frames. So I just find it kind of fascinating that you guys have been having issues, because I really thought that y'all's computers would run it better than mine would.
Well, I mean, you have a beefier CPU than mine. I also don't have FreeSync because I have an NVIDIA GPU but I don't have G-Sync monitors. So I don't know. I this game, like, it's no surprise that this game is meant for PCs of the future, or the high end, and I think it's fair to call my PC a mid-tier computer at this point, or like high to mid-tier, I suppose. I'd say Ryzen 5 1600 with a 1080 is mid to high tier. It doesn't surprise me that 1600, yeah.
I thought you said 5600.
No, 1600.
I was very confused about your CPU for a second. I was like, no, your clock speed should be better than mine. Now I kind of understand a little bit better.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me that I'm having these troubles. I think what's kind of upsetting is the fact that they really pushed, or maybe they didn't push super hard, but they did state that this game would run well on older systems, or it would be playable on older systems. And well, if you recall, we were talking about this a couple days ago in the chat, that Sony and Xbox now are taking the game off of their stores and offering refunds for people because the game does not run well on Xbox One or PlayStation 4, which have older, hardware in them. And that's really unfortunate. I'm looking at the store page for this, and it's saying that, graphics card minimum, it would be like a GTX 780 with an Intel Core i5 3570K for processor. And I feel like this game, with my experience personally, I feel like this game would toast the shit out of both of those pieces of hardware if somebody tried to run it. I just don't think. I'm just why even bother saying that this game can run on those specs when it barely runs on my specs, which is the recommended. It's above recommended, actually.
So I'm going to throw out here real quick. I want to point out, how often have you heard of somebody who owns a PlayStation or a Xbox cleaning those consoles?
I don't think I've ever cleaned my Xbox One.
Cleaning? You mean scrubbing it down with
dusting them out?
Yeah, dust.
Soap?
I think I've cleaned my Xbox once, and that was a couple months ago.
So here's the thing: is that,
and I've had it since 2014.
I know some people who are smokers, and
I don't know where this is going.
Well, no. If you smoke cigarettes, or if you smoke ganja, I guess it actually creates more particulate and shit and dust that gets clogged up in the fan openings. And this is the thing that happens with PCs too. You get dust and layers and shit on your radiators, on your coolers, and whatever, and it clogs up your system. I know people who have had a fucking PlayStation since the day it came out and have never cleaned them. And let me tell you something, those are some gunky fucking consoles. It's one thing to think that, your system may not run it well, but it's another thing to not have ever dusted out and cleaned your console, and it just have heat issues for fucking Among Us or whatever that you might be playing.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm just saying, performance issues are not all the way down to the game. Some of that is you taking care of your stuff. There is. You're right. There are some of those factors. I just really don't think that this game is.
It's not the highlight of this game's issues on those consoles.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
It can be.
It affects.
Yeah. It is a reason. It is a viable reason
It's a
for it,
it's a
it to not
it's
work.
a factor.
But if I were to look at the situation and like think of a reason for it not working, it wouldn't be that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like usually that's more of a PC troubleshooting thing, anyways. It's like people.
Yeah, I mean, just take compressed air and just shoot it at your console. That'll fix it.
Yep.
Fuck, now you got me thinking. I don't think I've ever cleaned out any console that I've owned.
I also want to be clear that normally you don't need to. It's just that as games get more intensive, it's probably wise to start cleaning it more often.
But if you're a fucking gonk and you're being super nasty around your console, then maybe think about it.
Yeah.
I just pour straight dryer lint onto my fucking Xbox One.
There you go.
So, I think that's a good transition. Let's talk about Cyberpunk's culture and the fucking words.
Okay, culture,
What
do you mean by culture?
Like,
what do you mean by culture?
the in-game culture, like, you know, like.
Oh, I
Like,
thought you were
how
going to
you
talk
like-
about the fan base, and I was ready to rip in to
yeah.
people.
I want to talk.
Okay,
I want
so-
to talk about like the in-game culture and how cool it is.
I think a better word for it is world building, which I think it's its biggest and best strength. Is that if you're like ever at any point in Night City and you just look around, you listen, it's like picturesque. It's what you would expect Cyberpunk to be.
I think that's a very high quality of the game. I don't think it's like the best part, but I do think it is very high up there.
I don't have much to say, so I'm just going to say what little I do have about this topic, just to get it out of the way, I suppose. I haven't really explored Night City that much, but I'm at a point in the story where I kind of have to like wait to move on. Like there isn't a crazy amount that I can do, so I have to go and like find side quests and shit. But like I like that as you're going around, it's not like GTA where like you drive by somebody and you just get insulted, right? Like it's just like fuck you, you know, you just get randomly like insulted like in GTA 5. Like there is this sense of this city feels alive, like this is a breathing, working city. It's also really amusing to like run around and check out everybody's fits. There's some interesting fashion choice going on in Night City.
Hang on, I want to.
Well, I
game
think-
are you playing?
I
I feel like I get insulted a lot around Night City. Like I feel like
Maybe I mean I also haven't.
That happened.
I haven't played it as much. Like I haven't played Cyberpunk in a few days. Or
Also,
maybe.
what game were you playing? I feel like in GTA, I don't know what you're doing wrong, but GTA, everyone's always like, I like your car, man. Sick ride. Your car is really nice.
Here's the difference where I think it might make it a little bit more sense. GTA 5, you are the star of the show, in a manner of speaking. Like you are, like you just being around people, they'll comment on your car. They'll comment on whatever you're doing. In Cyberpunk, they'll only comment on it if you do something to them. So like if you drive your car close to them, obviously they'll freak out and stuff. But if you're just driving normally and
that's probably it. Yeah.
minding your own business, no one's gonna give a shit.
So GTA 5 is a 7-year-old game now. So
Is it? God damn.
yep.
Yeah.
September 2013. It came out on fucking last gen, last gen. Last gen. There we go.
Like 360 and
Yeah.
PS3. Yeah.
It's gotten 3 consoles now.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. This is sidetrack, but I don't even feel like current gen is current gen because so few people have like a PS5 or an Xbox Series X that it still feels like next gen. Like Xbox One and PS4 still feel like current gen.
Well, also at the
Because
same time, they've only
that's
been out for
usually-
like couple of months.
Yeah, that's-
Wait until some
that's-
games start to come out.
That's usually the vibe with most console generations. Like the first generation that they're out is usually not
Yeah, but it just like I don't know. I guess it feels especially like that way right now because fucking
Because of the
scalpers.
body? Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand.
fucking
It's just like,
scalpers,
yeah.
dude.
My thing to that is just wait until there's more games out besides fucking Bug Snacks.
You are not about that game, are you? You do not appreciate its existence, don't you, Josh?
I mean, see, here's the thing. I haven't had a PlayStation console since the PS2. So my chances of me ever playing Bug Snacks are fucking slim to none. But just the way everything is named in that game just gets to me. But enough about Bug Snacks.
All right.
Bug Snacks.
So yeah, back to
We're running out an hour and a half. I want Shogun to finish up his thoughts on Cyberpunk before we quit.
yeah. So I don't know exactly how much time we have left, so I don't know
As
if I
much
have
as
to
you need.
compact it more.
As
okay.
much as you need.
So I'll just comment on everything I had planned going over. So it may take like 5 minutes or whatever.
Okay.
How to start this? I started out Cyberpunk, getting really invested in the story. Granted, I did have to play it a second time just to kind of really understand what was going on, but the journey it felt personal. Like all the choices I'd made felt like they were having a choice, but that was just the illusion of choice affecting me. But as I'm going back and starting to understand how it's designed, I can see it's a lot more limiting than I anticipated, but there's enough deviation in order to satisfy my desire for a good story. Like, there's not as many characters, there's not as many romances, but it's enough for me. So I'm satisfied. But objectively, this game is very short, not just in terms of the story, but short in terms of everything. Like, I have about... Let me check my hours real quick. I have 76 hours clocked in Cyberpunk so far, and that's playing fairly regularly every day or every other day. And I'm like a good 90% done with everything, minus the story. Like, I have almost all of the rare achievements. I have 2 that are unfortunately locked because of quest bugs and whatever, but that'll be fixed. But all the other ones I can see myself getting like within a day. So if I were to play this for another week, I would 100% complete it. And this game came out like, what, a week ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? That's not a lot of time in order to go through this game that is like... The closest comparison I can make is GTA, but way smaller. Way more dense, but smaller.
I mean, 70 hours? I guess it depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at the hour per dollar sort of deal, that I personally like. I feel like 70 hours for a base game RPG that hasn't even been modded yet, I feel like is still like pretty decent.
So
like, that's not bad
here's
in
how
my
I would
opinion.
weigh in on this, and this is where I see what Shogun's saying, and I also see what you're saying, Walls. It's smaller than what they promised, but it's still a good RPG.
Yeah, it's good for what it is, but it's really a game of two halves, where Wallace and people are just getting into Cyberpunk are experiencing the first half where it's slow, you're getting used to the world, and everything's paced pretty okay to make you think that it's a lot bigger than it actually is. But by the time you get to the second half and you start like getting really deep into skills and going down a certain build or whatever, by the time you got all that done, you just see yourself breezing through literally everything. Like police dispatch calls or things become trivial, gigs become trivial, quests become trivial because you're so high level and you can just breeze through it like nothing.
So you feel like
Adrian
it's more of a balance issue?
I think it is kind of a balance issue because if you're going for like, you saw me like going through that one gang area with just a sniper rifle shooting people through 5 different surfaces.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually just went through that same exact one. And I wasn't nearly as geared as you, and it took me a little bit of time, but I've recently gotten gear, and the game's much easier. So I
like to
see what you're saying.
I'd like to say that a lot of like people also tend to go at their own pace, and I don't think that invalidates what you're saying at all. I think that what you're saying is legitimate. I also think that for some people, it might take them a little bit more time if they are not going as fast, or maybe they're not as invested. But I guess a quick addition, I suppose, or maybe counterpoint to
Let's
what
be
you're
honest.
saying. I don't know. I am not at the point where I can where I'm experiencing what you've experienced. So I can't really make an argument either way, I suppose.
That's just my observations, and obviously it is just my opinion. So you could have something completely different as you're playing through.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm seeing. Like if it's that easy for me to go through a majority of this game, then
I mean,
it's going to be to a lesser extent like less important on you when you're playing it. But for me, it's like I feel like I'm done.
I mean, I can kind of like I've watched you play through a little bit, and I can see like what you're saying. Obviously, like I watched you just absolutely annihilate people through walls with a sniper rifle, and it's just like if you want to go stealth and never be caught, then it's pretty easy to do that.
Tech weapons feel a little too powerful sometimes.
A little bit, and if you upgrade them a lot, then they can just breeze you through anything.
I got a pistol yesterday. It's literally there's only one bullet, but it's a big one.
It's a big one.
It's
a beefy boy.
It explodes and shit. Like it's real fucking strong. I shot somebody in the chest the other day, and it did. On impact, it did 1,000 something damage, and then like on explosion, it did another 1,000 something damage. And I'm not like late enough in the game to be hitting 10k yet. Most of my damage is like hovering around like 200 at most. So
yeah,
it's a pretty beefy pistol, and that's being geared is actually very important in this game. Like it makes a big difference.
Like once you feel the point at which it's like, okay, I'm finally getting an edge on things and it's starting to become easy, it just snowballs from there.
Oh, and I will say crafting it needs work.
Yeah.
It's too easy to break that. But speaking of which, crafting will also break your game. So, maybe that's their way of nerfing it. I don't know. But yeah, important note about crafting. Every single item you craft is tracked by the game. It doesn't matter if it's a stackable like grenade or max stock or bounce back. It keeps track of every single thing you've made. And that contributes to the save file size. And if you create too many things and your save file becomes too large, you will corrupt your game. So
well, I also think that Skyrim had the same issue when it like first came out back in the day.
It's a Bush League issue to create. Like it should not be a thing. And
where exactly do you see the size of your save files?
You kind of just have to go and look for it, like in your file directory.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now.
Hold on, let me see. Go to your computer, under your accounts and game saves or saved games. There should be a folder for Cyberpunk.
Are you playing on GOG or Steam?
Steam.
How the hell are you seeing that?
It's not. It's like it's under your local disk. It's not in the Steam folder or the GOG folder.
Yeah, local files. Is it bin engine R6?
No, not that one. Your local disk, and then go into your user profile.
I'm not sure what you mean.
So your C drive, and then your user folder, and then whatever your account name is on your computer is the folder you're going to go into. Where like your documents, downloads, videos, and all that are. There's a folder there that says saved games.
Oh, that's where it saves it?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's a Windows thing. It's not. I don't understand why they do that like that either. Because like almost none of my other games do that. And then you can just look at the files in there.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm sitting at 5 megs. So yeah,
I'm sitting right under that too. So I don't know. I don't know when the turning point is. Some people are saying 8 megabytes. Some people are saying 6 megabytes. So who knows? Okay. Any other thoughts before we finish for the night? I'm saving my thoughts for like after I finish the game because I feel like my opinions will change by the time the game is over.
Despite what I said, I like it.
I think the best way to summarize this game is it's a good game. It just has a lot of issues and I just think it should have been I think it should have been worked on more. I am kind of I'm kind of like not very happy with how it's performed considering the development time, I guess, but I also I don't think it's an objectively bad game. I just don't think it should have been released so soon, and I don't think people should have been pushing for it so soon.
I generally agree with the release of it. I think it was off time. I think a while back, like when Nick was asking about it, he was asking when it comes out, and I was like, dude, it's not for another 2 or 3 years. And then they announced it for like April of the next year. I do think that it needed more time. However, I do want to point out that development time for this game is not as long as people think it might be. The game was announced in 2013, but what people got to remember is that CD Projekt Red was not a big studio at that time, and they were all in on Witcher 3 at that exact moment when they announced Cyberpunk.
Full development of Cyberpunk is reported to have started in 2016 or 2017.
Yeah, which would line up with when Witcher was over, because it came out 2015, and then the final expansion was 2016.
I mean, I think.
I mean, if you look at it this way,
should have been longer.
Games like Watch Dogs, games like Assassin's Creed, not all the Assassin's Creed, but some of the Assassin's Creeds take about 4 years. You know, in Ubisoft's standard 4-year whatever development cycle. So if you look at it that way, this game taking as long as it did is pretty similar to a lot of other AAA games. The only real exceptions to this rule that I feel are out there are like Rockstar and Bethesda taking their sweet time with GTA 6 and Elder Scrolls 6.
I think for those specific examples, Rockstar not as much, but Bethesda I feel like absolutely needs to do Elder Scrolls 6 right, because I don't know about everybody else. I don't know how the current majority feels about Bethesda, but I think Bethesda's lost a lot of trust.
Well, they don't have the reputation anymore.
They don't have. I don't know. I think for them taking their time and making sure Elder Scrolls 6 is an actual objectively good game is important, because Fallout 76 was a fucking disaster, and I am hearing apparently it's a decent game now. It's actually a playable game now, but I'm still never gonna play it because of how it was on launch. And I still haven't played No Man's Sky, even though that apparently also is actually a good game now. it's just, I don't have any interest in those games. I don't know.
I don't know.
Rockstar's kind of a different case anyways because they take a long time to make games regardless, it seems. So,
well, when you can milk GTA for as long as they have, they don't need to make new games.
I mean, when GTA 6 comes out, I think everybody's gonna love it. I don't know.
Even they're not even doing that well with Red Dead Redemption as they are with
Red Dead Redemption
GTA.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not with the online, of course. Like, the online, from what I've heard, is kind of not that great. But the actual single-player aspect was phenomenal, apparently.
Yeah, but people still weren't buying it enough for them to kind of want to go in on it like they did for GTA, because they still sell GTA as the entire package. They've gone around and changed it to where you can buy Red Dead just for the single player or just for the multiplayer, and the multiplayer is like $5. Like it's definitely not as lucrative for them as GTA has been, which makes sense. It's kind of a harder game to make that kind of content for. Anyways, I think we've
different vibe.
Yeah, I think we've reached the end of this talk.
Wait,
one
thing.
What?
No. It's important. I don't think we did a clap sync.
No, we didn't.
We don't need it.
Who needs it?
Kit needs it. Actually, we'll do one after we finish.
Yeah, it doesn't need it.
I'll let Kit know that it's at the end. It's not a big deal. Also,
I don't even know. If
I just remembered that like halfway through, and I was like, I should probably make it known.
Yeah, Shogun, I want to highlight one achievement that you've gotten that I think is kind of absurd to get, and that is the buy all vehicles achievement.
Yeah,
that's expensive as fuck, dude.
It is.
That's ridiculous how hard that is. That must be to get.
It did take a lot of grinding for that one exploit for the that painting that you can sell over and over again for 4,000 credits.
Oh, I didn't know that was an exploit. You want to know what I do? I craft a fuck ton of the either epic or legendary like consumables, like the bounce back or some kind of grenade, and I disassemble about half of them. I get all of my materials back, and then I sell the other half of them.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, with the trait thing that you get
with all the perks, it's so easy to screw around with, because you can invest into one of the perks 3 different times so that you get more materials back from disassembling, and then there's a different perk that will just let you. It's a 20% chance, which I think is a little bit too much, but a 20% chance to just make shit for free. So 1 out of 5 times
return on investment.
Yeah. So once you get those kinds of things, you can just steamroll crafting. The only problem I have with crafting is that you have to like click it for 2 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
So
I hate the holding down to do thing.
I went into my XML file and I changed it because that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
So now it's just like pretty much an instant click for me. But
also, side note, I have a really hard time believing that I'm looking at my achievements. 10% of people did not get the full achievement, which is completing the tutorial.
I mean, look,
which I know it's some people will just start the game and just go off do whatever they want.
And that right there is one of the things I want to talk about when I finish the game, because I think that's actually a really important part to highlight. What I think is that a lot of people bought the game and they still haven't started it. Like, I think it's a lot of pre-orders that either got forgotten, or it's like people who have a very busy adult life and are waiting for like the actual holiday week to hit so they can play. So we'll see, though. I think that'll come up to a nice 99% pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say for today. We went a little bit over the time that I was expecting, but that's okay. Let's do a clap sync real quick for Kit.
I like podcasts with quality, not quantity.
Technically,
Both.
Technically, being longer is quantity, but on the count of
Do
three,
we
I need you
actually have
guys.
either?
Oh, okay, listen.